have something pinned down, but I always got something in my spirit. I always got something because I study, I read. And so I don't have to struggle to try to come up with something. The struggle, if anything, is what I'm going to, it's like, it reminds me, like when you go make groceries and your refrigerator just full and, and you struggling with what to eat because you got so much food. And so I think that the way I study and read a lot, that my struggle is what to teach. Amen. So as you can tell that the joy of Yah is my strength. I'm excited, just being in this very hour, going to see what the Abba Most High going to do. His power, his hand in the midst of the nation. That's what I'm excited about. And it's people being able to stand. Haven't done all. Just stand and see the salvation of the Most High. How he's able to preserve our life in the midst of this pandemic, whether it's man-made of the Most High, allow it. That's what I'm excited for. But when I went to Facebook, I went and I saw Pastor Jay, his post, and it was a good post. It stirred me, and it reminded me what the post did. It reminded me of my own personal study back in the day, that when I first came in, that one of my strong points that I have is that I do word study. And so when Pastor Jay put that biblical definitions, I said, oh man, that stirred me right there, because he is right on point about what he said, that you cannot come to the biblical text and try to understand the biblical text from a Western dictionary or even a Western mindset. You do error not knowing the scripture. And so I wanted to touch on that this evening. See, what we was not taught is that we have no idea, guys, okay? We have no ideas until you start digging, you realize that the battle that took place around, I can say around 285, 250 BC, and the battle that took place under this general that we know, or we ought to know, that was a major shift in theology. That was a major shift in education. That was a major shift in just worldview. And this major shift took place under the watch of a general by the name of Alexander the Great. Major shift. Because it was around this time, maybe 285, 250 BC, that the Septuagint was translated. But much more took place. And the reason that I say that, because that was a worldview that went from a biblical mindset to a Greek mindset. And from a Greek mindset to a Western or European perspective. It's not talk about race, but I'm just trying to show you that what took place, Israel, and that we have to understand that the biblical text that we hold dear, whether it be King James, NIV, doesn't matter what you use, that it is a Western mindset. Now, my struggle understanding the concept that these two worlds clash, and well, we got the East versus the West. Oh, you have no idea, Israel, how that our mind, when our forefather came over here first, that was a Hebrew mindset. That was a Hebrew lifestyle. That was a Hebrew culture. But because we came to the West, our mind had to be renewed from a Western perspective or from an Eastern perspective or a Hebrew or biblical perspective. Now we have a European Western mind view and also lifestyle. And how did that take place? that took place by language. By language. So what Pastor Jay is saying, as long as you come into the biblical text, and I said this before, and ladies and gentlemen, I want you to hear this over and over. When you and I, as a Western person, I don't care what color you are right now, but when you approach the biblical text, okay, biblical text, I want you to get this. I know you students that heard me say this here, but you gotta understand what I'm talking about. I'm talking to Israel. That's what I'm talking about. Israel, wake up. When you approach this biblical text called the Bible, matter of fact, even the name Bible is come from a Greek or Babylos, an island that Alexander the Great had conquered. When we approach this text, I told you, and you know what I'm about to say, you have two things against you. Automatic. That's language, okay, and culture. They're one and the same. If you don't understand that, if you say it don't matter, your interpretation, ladies and gentlemen, is going to always be from a Western perspective. So if I'm coming from the East and you coming from the West, we're going to always clash. We're going to always clash. That's why that I don't like to get deep in conversation with people that have not in study hermeneutics, have not studied the Pradesh, that is the Pasha, the Remand, the Soul, the Mystery. If they have not studied these concepts of approaching the biblical text, if they have not did no word study or not willing to do word study, you're not a serious student. I don't care who you are. And I'm going to show you tonight. You're not a serious student. You have to understand that if you're going to study with me, okay, let me go back for a second. That when I first started, right, that to study with me, ask any of my students, because they got these books, you had to have a dictionary, okay? You had to have a dictionary. Because why? I was going to have you look up words. That's why I'm slowly doing it now. And listen, I'm glad that some of you are bringing your, I know now, see, hold on for a second again. When I first came into this here, and listen, I hope the things I'm saying to you tonight will stir you up. Because why? Man does not live by bread alone. Israel, I'm going to give you a little something tonight. I'm going to give you something tonight. When I first came into the awakening, and we didn't have all the stuff that y'all got now. That was some little stuff on the internet, YouTube, but we didn't have all that. But the advantage that I learned is that I didn't get all my information from YouTube. Okay? I had to walk, because I didn't have my car, I don't know if it broke down or whatever. I had to walk down to the public library, get me a $5 card, and that's why I was sitting there and just reading. And they didn't have a bunch of videos, so that means that you got to read. See, today, the problem with a lot of students today is that they watch a lot of videos, but they don't do a lot of reading. Listening to somebody else lesson that they had done is not studying. Are y'all listening? Studying when you open up your book. Studying when you crack open your book. So all those years I was going down to the library, right? This is some of my stuff here. Y'all see this here? These binders here? These three binders right here. These three binders is all the years I used to walk down to the library. I used to walk, I don't know, maybe half a mile or something like that. But I used to walk down to the library. And this is all my copies that I used to spend. Hey, copies wasn't free. I might have had $5 here, whatever change I had. I was just hungry. And so this is just some of it, but this is the 3 folders I found, and I got all the stuff I had copied from back in the day. And a lot of stuff that you can't find. And so if you come on the Shabbat and you want to look through the folder and stuff, I don't mind, but I just want you to see that this how your pastor had to get his information. I had to go to the library and read. We didn't have all that YouTube stuff. And so that's why I learned a lot of things, okay? So now, students, if you're going to study, okay, you got to get you a dictionary, okay? This one here, you got to know the Hebrew alphabets, and you got to know the Strong's numbers, okay? This one here. Everyone should have a Strong's, okay? This is called the James Strong's. Everything is from A to Z. And the reason I'm showing this here because I want you to get used to looking up words. Because if the brain is like a muscle, you're exercising these things here. And that's why I know certain strong numbers like hard, because why? I had to look it up. Just like back in the day that when we used to know all those phone numbers. Why? Because we had to look it up in the yellow pages. But now, we don't do that. We got caller ID. So that's why I don't be trying to be nasty when I say, man, y'all put down those phones and get over some dictionaries. This how you study. This how you learn. Why? Because it had to cause you to search for that thing. Well, I love to hear the pages. And I remember that one of my students used to say, well, it doesn't matter if we use phones. It doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. Well, they learned that if you're going to study with me, it's hard for you to keep up. It's hard because I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm going here. So those are some of the tools that you need. Okay? Now, this is what I want you to keep in mind, is that you and our mind is Western, but the biblical text is Hebrew. I don't care because it's written in English. The mindset is Hebrew. The culture is Hebrew. So if you're going to understand the biblical text, you got to get you books. I'm going to introduce you to this other book. Those who are not familiar, this is Ancient Hebrew Lexicon of the Bible, or the biblical text. Hebrew letters, words, and root defined words within the culture. So I'm introducing you to some books. This book is by Jeff Benner, Ancient Hebrew Lexicon of the Bible. Good book. Okay, excellent book. And in the books that you purchase, if you need help using it, bring it to the house of study. Bring it, okay? And if y'all guys want me to do a study or just a teaching on how to use these books, I don't mind, okay? But this is an excellent book. I guarantee you're going to need some help using this one here, okay? Now, let's go to work. I'm going to use a verse that you are familiar with, okay? I want you to turn to John chapter 14. John chapter 14. John chapter 14. You know the verse. Verse 6. John chapter 14, verse 6. Let's turn that together. I want to do a verse that we all are familiar with. Now I'm about to say something that I want you to write down, okay? I want y'all guys to write this down. So let's say that we're in the New Testament, right? What we call the New Testament, or Hebrew is the Brit Hadashah, right? Brit means covenant. Hadashah means new covenant, but not like new as brand new. It's just, we can say renewed. Go from the stone to your heart. So nothing is done away with, okay? I want y'all to write this statement down that I'm about to make. Very important statement, okay? The New Testament. Let's use terms that your conscience is used to, okay? When you come to the New Testament, I want y'all to grasp this. It's very important. So I'm going to take my time. When you come to the New Testament, you need to understand that the Old Testament, I'm using terms, okay? The Old Testament, that is from Genesis to Malachi, the Old Testament is the dictionary for the New Testament. I'm going to say that again. The Old Testament is the dictionary for the New Testament. What did it mean? Well, the same thing. What is a dictionary? A dictionary defines words. Are y'all hearing me? A dictionary defines words. Make it plain to you. You don't come to the New Testament and define words. Ladies and gentlemen, the word has already been defined for you. That's why the Apostle Paul does not, when he said that just shall live by faith, notice that he doesn't spend time trying to define faith, nor mercy, nor grace, no way, no life, no kindness and meekness, none of that. Why? Because the concepts or the definitions has already been defined. I'm going to show you that tonight, but I definitely want you to get that down in your mind and to go into your conscious. Again, the Old Testament is the dictionary for the New Testament. You don't get to the New Testament and say, well, this is what I think faith is. This is what I think grace is. This is what I think love is. It has already, beloved, been defined for you. So if I'm going to pick up the New Testament and begin to read it, I got to understand the definitions when I run across a word. What is faith? I don't run, as Pastor Jay said, I don't run. Let me see, do I have one? I only have one over here. I don't run to the Western Dictionary and look up faith. You don't run to the Western Dictionary and look up grace and love. You run to the Old Testament, that is the Tanakh. Get you a Strong, get you a dictionary, and you look up the concrete words. Faith is not concrete, it's abstract. Love is not concrete, it's abstract. So all the words, at least 99.9% in the Bible that we hold, are abstract. What is abstract? It has no form, it has no shape. So therefore that you can't put your finger on what faith is. Because why? You're trying to define these terms, my beloved, from a Western perspective. And because, as Pastor Jay said again, and because as long as you keep doing that, you will always have an argument with someone whose mind is abstract. And that's one of my biggest issues. That when I'm talking to someone, my mind has been renewed to think. Notice what I say. My mind has been renewed to think concrete. And so when I'm talking to an abstract mind person, whether that person is a believer, whether that person is an Israelite, it doesn't matter. If that person is abstract in thinking, then we're going to always clash. But I'm smart enough just to pull away from that. Because I'm trying to get him or her to understand that that is a Western mindset that you're thinking. Matter of fact, one of the things that we understand, and I'm talking to, listen, I hope I'm talking to Israelites, okay? We're not interested in what something looked like. We're not. We want things to look nice and so on and so on. But I'm saying that we're not interested in what the ark looked like. Let's say Noah's ark. We don't care how big it is and such and such. We care about the function. Can it hold us? I don't care how big it is. I don't care what the color is. I don't care about none of that. I want to know, can it hold us? You see, once you start thinking, what is the function? I also want you to think, what is the function of the Shabbat? What is the function of the dietary? What is the function of the feast? What is the function of the commandment? What is the function of Israel? See, start thinking function, not abstract. What is the function of us coming to the Shabbat? See, we need to think function. We don't care the abstract. Function. What is the function of children? We raise up offspring that they may walk in the way of Yahweh. See, it'll take, a lifetime for our minds to be renewed. So John chapter 14. Watch this here. John chapter 14. We're going to deal with a couple words here. John chapter 14, verse 6, guys. Now, this is the Mashiach talking, okay? Yeshua says unto him, I am the way. We're going to deal with that word. I want you to circle these words. I am the way, the truth, the life. No man come unto the Father except by me. Now, let's look at these three concepts that has already been defined. What is Yeshua saying? Because he said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. Let's define these three terms. Because they know exactly what he's talking about. They know exactly. So let's break these words down. We look at these words on the page as abstract, but let's look at them from a biblical definition. What is way? What is truth? What is life? These are English abstract words here, but the word way is derek in Hebrew. We're going to look at the word truth is emed, and the word life is ha. Okay? We're going to look at that. So let's go to work. So let's look at the word way first. The word way. I want to look at the word way first. I'm going to give you the strong number so that you can do your own homework too. All right? Strong number is 1870. 1870. Now, what I want to do first, too, also in our culture, that one thing you have to understand in our culture, that we are learning now, but our fathers and them knew this. When our language was first given to us, it was given in what we call Paleo-Hebrew, which only means ancient Hebrew. It was not given to us in the block form as we see today. That came about coming out of captivity, out of the Syria captivity, where we took on the block form, where we lose the what we say in English, that a picture is worth 1,000 words. So we still have the same definition, but in the ancient days, we can look at a word and tell you what the word means just by looking at the picture. That's how simple our language is. It's not complicated. It's really not complicated, but you got to put in work. Why? Because our mind has to be renewed. Just think about the word renewed. Renewed meaning to bring something back like it was. So when Shaul say that we need to renew our mind, he said, listen, go back to how your fathers used to think. That's all it is. So when we study this here, now I know I got people out there say, well, Pastor, there'll be some, but I know it ain't y'all. There'll be some, well, it don't matter. Well, it might don't matter to you, then move out the way. Bring the people that it does matter. It does matter. That's a person that don't want to even go back and embrace our culture. See, because once, watch this, once you embrace the language, you're going to want to embrace the culture. You're going to want to embrace the culture. So now let's take a look at the word Derek, okay? The word Derek is 3 letters, okay? For those who know the alphabet, I would encourage you, Hebrew Israelites, I would encourage you, Israel, learn the alphabet. We have no excuse. That the language of the kingdom is not going to be English. The language of the kingdom is not going to be Spanish. I'm telling you, I will return unto the people a pure lashon, a pure tongue, that we may all call upon the Mashiach. See, right now, we're calling upon him with stammering lips, meaning with unclean lips. But the Most High known this here. But he said, the day come, Yisrael, that we shall all call upon him with one lashon, one tongue, the holy tongue. That's powerful right there. So, I don't know if y'all going to be able to see this or not, but I'm going to write it anyhow. So, the word Derek, okay, strong number 1870. 1870. Let's go to work on that one. 1870. I'm going to write it out for you. It's a dolly. I encourage y'all guys to learn it. Dolly, and then with a cough. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. I'm going to spell the word for you. It's D-E-R-E-K, Derek, okay? I don't know if you can see it or not, but I'm going to do my best. So we have a dolly, a resh, and a cough. The cough is an open hand. It's a hand, but it's an open hand, okay? Now, what's interesting about this word Derek, okay? We have a door, a resh, which represents a man's head, and a hand. So when you look at the word Derek, it can be a road, it can be a pathway, other word, a trail, whatever it may be. Some of the definition is a road or a journey or a pathway. And when you get Jeff Bennett dictionary here, let's break it down. I'm telling you, this is how you study, okay? So now, in Jeff Bennett, okay, let's say that you had this book here. Hey, listen, guys, I had this book when I first got it, I had this book for about 2 years. I didn't know how to use this book. It was confusing to me. And you know what? It should have been. Why? Because it's an Eastern book. It's a Hebrew book. And my mind is Western. But I hung on to it. And I think I saw Brad Scott, was another teacher named Brad Scott was teaching, and he was using this book. No, it wasn't. I went to his site, and then that's how I learned how to use it. Okay? But I'm going to show you something here that in his. I can tell you, but you're not going to see it. You will have to be here. But I'm going to go to his, and I'm going to look it up in ancient Hebrew, because in this book here, he gives the concrete meaning of the word. So let's do it. This is how you do your homework. So now, when I go to here, I ain't got no abstract word. They're all concrete. This is exactly what Pastor Jay was talking about. So I'm going to go here. And I think I was showing this book to him one day. Now in the book, he has here the AC as abbreviation for the action of the word, and then he has OB as abstract. So he's showing you that here is the concrete and here's the abstract. So the concrete, the abstract is a tread. It means to tread. But the concrete, now watch this here. The concrete is a road. Now think about this here. A road. Have you ever walked in like in the park or the woods, and you can see how that is a trail, right? A trail. And that tells you that this is the way to go, or this is the way that people have been walking. So keep that in mind. So many people have been walking on that trail that it made a trail where you can see it. Now, this is the way, this is the word for way. He said, I'm the way. So now I'm going to show you how that word is being used. So this word way is a trail or a pathway to take a journey. It also means to take a step or a journey as traveling. So keep that in mind. I'm just going to give you just a little bit of that. So now let's see how this word is used. And keep in mind that Yeshua say that I am the way. Now the concrete word for way is a path or a trail. So let's look at how this word is used. Let's go to Psalms 119. Psalms 119. Psalms 119. And keep in these three words that we're going to deal with. Now, when you look at Psalms 119 verse 1, now we can do a teaching, really, I can do a whole teaching just on Psalms 119 verse 1 for 2 hours. For 2 hours. And how can you say that on verse 1? Because of all the words that's there. It says, blessed are the undefiled in the way who walk in the Torah or law of Jehovah. I can do a word blessed, the word blessed, asher, means to stretch. Or yasher, where we get the word yasher or jasher, okay? I can do a word on tamim, which is undefiled, which is the same word used for sacrifice. I can do a word, the one that we're doing now, way. That's the word derek. We can do a word study on that. We can do the word on walk, which is halakha, or the word law, which is Torah, or the name Yahweh, or what's translated here, the Lord, Yahweh. So, man, we can just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can do 2 hour study just on those words. Breaking down words, understanding word is very important. So he says here, blessed are the undefiled. Notice here, I'm going to try not to go there because I'll be breaking these words down. Okay, blessed are the undefiled in the way. That's the word, derek. In the way, the path, the trail. Okay? Keep in mind, I want you to get the concrete meaning of the word. It means trail. You can see a trail that's been going, that people have been walking that way. So we're going to see how this word is all about the word. It's all about the word. It's all about the word. Let's go to verse 14. Same book. Psalms 119, verse 14. I have rejoiced in the way of thy testimony as much in all riches. Now, I want you to keep in mind, the way, the trail. Another one, Psalms 27. Verse 27. Psalms 119, verse 27. Make me to understand the way of thy precepts. So shall I talk of thy wondrous work. So notice how the psalmist is using the way. Make me to understand thy way. Another one, verse 29. Remove from me the way of lying, and grant me thy loving gracious. See, all these are abstract words. Verse 30. Psalms 119, verse 30. I have chosen, what's it? I have chosen the way. Now notice how the way must be chosen. And so if there is a trail or a way to walk, then I must choose. It's like Dorothy. Dorothy come up to 2 Pat, the yellow brick road, and then she can go this way or she can go that way. And she confused. She don't know which way to go. But if she knew where she was going, then she'll know which way to go. So he has chosen the way. See, if we understand the word again, means a pathway, means a trail. Many people see you walking a different way, right? a different way. You're not walking the way that you used to walk as a Christian. No, you're walking a different pathway. And they can tell. So now, because, watch this, now that we used to walk the same trail of Christianity, right? But now that we're walking a Hebrew way, it done took us off the trail that we used to walk on. And we didn't leave, listen, we just started walking the Torah way. And just think about it. It took you away from your family, your friends. Why? Because you're walking the way. It's powerful. I'm going as slow as I can. Verse 32, Psalms 119, verse 32. Now, what's interesting with this, because in Psalms 119, verse 32, is it used the second letter of the alphabet, which is a Dali. And that's the same word, the first letter that starts with the word Derek. 32. I will run the way of thy commandments when thou shalt enlarge my love or my heart. So notice, I will run the path of thy commandment. Do another one. Verse 33, Psalms 119, verse 33. Teach me, other word, yasa, point me. Teach me, O Yahweh, the way of thy statutes, and I shall keep it until the end. Notice how that the way had to do with his word. Notice how the way had to do with his word. The psalmist say, lead me in the right way. Teach me thy way. It's all about the word. Let's do another one. Verse 37. Psalms 119, verse 37. Turn away my eyes from beholding vanity, and quicken thou me in thy way. That's awesome. In thy way. Let's go. I want to show you something else. Let's go a few more. Let's go to Genesis. Genesis chapter 18. Genesis chapter 18, guys. This is how you study. Now, this is dealing with our father Abraham. And the Most High is speaking to Abraham. I'm going to pick it up in verse 17. Genesis chapter 18, verse 17. And Jehovah said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him? And watch this here. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, that they shall keep the way. The way. Keep what? The way. They shall walk the same pathway. Keep the way of Jehovah to do justice and judgment, so that Jehovah shall bring upon Abraham that what he has spoken. So notice that y'all say, I know, Abraham, that once you walk this path, you're going to teach your children how to walk this path. And that's what our responsibility are, to teach our kids how to walk this path. And how you teach them? You walk it. Make the trail. Make the trail that they can see it. We can be trailblazers. Isn't that something? Watch this verse here. I know y'all familiar with this verse. Let's go to Proverbs. Proverbs for a moment. Proverbs chapter 20. Let's do Proverbs chapter 22. Chapter 22. We'll look at chapter 22, guys. Chapter 22, verse verse. I don't want that one. Okay, yeah. I want to do let's do, instead of that one, let's do Proverbs chapter 14, verse 12. Sorry about that, guys. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 12. Y'all familiar with this verse? There is what? A way, or we can say there is a pathway. There is a trail. See, because I'm looking at the definition of the word, right? There is a trail, there is a path, which seem Yasar. That's the name, the title, Joshua. Yashar, straight unto a man. But the end thereof is the way of death. You see, there's a way, there's a pathway, there's a lifestyle that people that we was walking. It seemed it right. It seemed like it was the right pathway. But the psalmist said, but the writer of Proverbs said, no. But it ends in destruction. So that's why we got to walk the straight path. So that we can be witness for our family and friends who are watching us. And we got to stay on the right path. Tell me I got 5 minutes to go. Let's go up. Let's go to the book of Judges. Book of Judges. But y'all see how that I'm breaking the word down and showing you that it has nothing to do that if we understand this here, okay? If we understand that Yeshua is the word made manifest, all the word is doing is pointing you, all Yeshua is doing is pointing you to the word. That's all he's doing. Book of Judges, I said, right? Judges. Let's get there. Judges, chapter 2, guys. Chapter 2. Now, Judges chapter 2. This is dealing with Israel. Our fathers, boy, we would not walk upright for nothing. Let's look at chapter 2, verse 16. So they forsook Yahweh. I was just looking at something else for a moment. But let's just, for the sake of time. So they forsook him, but Yah still raised up a deliverer. Chapter 2, verse 16. Nevertheless, Yahweh raised up a judge which delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them. Verse 17. And yet they would not hearken unto the judges, but they went a whoring after other gods. That's our fathers. And bowed themselves unto them. They turned quickly out of the way. You know that? Listen, they got off the path. They would not follow his ways. They turned quickly out of the way, which their fathers walked in, obeying the commandments of Yahweh, but they did not so. So as we look at the first word we dealt with, the way, when the Musha said, I'm the way, he's pointing us back to the derrick, the pathway. He's saying, listen, follow me. I'm following the word. So he's on the right path. Why? Because he's following the word. He's following the word. Probably one more. Maybe one more. me see, do I want to go there first? One more. I might want to do one more. Okay, yeah. Let's close out on this one here. Deuteronomy chapter 31. Deuteronomy chapter 31. We're going to read verse 29. And this is when the Most High is speaking to Moshe. And he's talking to him and saying, listen, when you die, when you go to sleep, these people are going to go to horn. They're going to fall off. That's a lesson in itself. You know, you really don't know what kind of congregation you got until you pass or until you're out of town. Verse 31, I'm sorry, chapter 31, verse 29. For he said, for I know that after my death, this is Moses speaking, ye will utter corrupt yourself and turn aside from the way. If there's not a way to walk, then how can you get off of it? Other than Moses saying, I know that after I'm gone, the path that we on right now, the trail that we on, y'all gonna turn aside. Y'all gonna start walking another path. See, it's the Torah that shows us if we're on the right path. And we ain't even got to the point where he said, I'm the life. And you're going to see how that verse comes alive, what the Mushak is talking about. He's all talking about the word talking about the word. So I'm going to close out on that one, and we'll pick back up. The Most High say the same on John chapter 14, verse 6, where the Mushak said, I am the way. We'll deal with emet, which is truth, and the life. We'll deal with that. It's very important. I'm glad that Pastor Jay put that on now. I pray that something was said tonight, but I want to stir our mind up to understand, guys. Listening to videos all day long in itself, and that's information, somebody else's information. But for you to become a student of the word, you got to be willing to open up the book. You got to be willing to purchase your dictionary, your Strongs, and so on and so on. You got to. When I first started here, it was, I was hard. You had to have a dictionary. You had to have Strongs. You had to have these things. And I remember the saddest thing I ever heard. This lady went to the Bible school, and she didn't even know how to use a Strongs. She told me this is what she told me. She said that the professor said that he didn't want them to use those. Well, I bet she didn't, because why? He didn't want you to look up words to see what he was saying was out of line. So, but I could not believe that. I said, listen, go back and get your money and come study here. Oh my goodness. Guys, I thank y'all for y'all time. If the Most High say the same, we'll be back here this Thursday. I want to make sure for those who wasn't available on the Shabbat, we do have a app that you're able to give if you want to make a offering, a gift offering to this ministry. You can go to cashapp, $House of Study, or you can go to Zelle, Zelle, Zelle 409-354-3659. Just opportunity that if you want to sow into this ministry, help to keep the lights on, just meet us halfway. So as I said on the Shabbat, so that the ministry don't have to dig so deep in their pockets, and that we can come out of this pandemic debt free, amen, as a ministry. And so I thank the Most High that for those who are able to sow into this ministry, you know, that the Most High, I'm not promising you nothing, but I just pray that as you keep this Facebook going and the lights on, that the Most High, as you take care of His house, that He will help make sure that your lights stay on, you keep food and your refrigerator because while you're looking out for this ministry, and I just want you to do your best, guys. If you know how I roll, if you got it, you got it. You don't this week, maybe you have it next week. But I just want to give y'all the opportunity to sow into this ministry. And so thank you for your time this evening. And so let's do the Aroni blessing because my mouth getting dry. Israel, may Jehovah bless thee and keep thee. May Jehovah make his face shine upon thee and be glorious to thee. May Jehovah lift up his covenant upon thee and give thee peace. May Jehovah destroy all the chaos in your life in the mighty name of Yeshua HaMashiach. May Jehovah continue to keep you and your household virus free. Thank y'all guys once again. Shalom.